Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name's Casey.
And for your viewing pleasure, we will be presenting this week's episode of Bang Head Financial. Obviously, we have a little bit of new setup, so bear with us while we make this adjustment. This particular week, how you doing this week, man?
I'm doing good.
Doing good, yeah. Trying to draw it out a little bit because obviously not a whole lot going on. Obviously it is a holiday weekend, a lot of people traveling.
I don't know why you're trying to draw it out. Our best financial video is only a minute long.
And going with that, in particular, we are, the whole purpose of that video was to inform everyone that guess what, outlook for the upcoming few years is not particularly well,
right?
We will say. Obviously, you hear a lot more people nowadays talking about a possible recession.
Right.
So, what is the definition of when an economy goes into recession? Do you know this?
I don't know. Inflation goes up and...
it has actually nothing particularly to do with inflation.
The growth...
GDP goes down for 2 consecutive quarters.
Okay.
It's what major economists call, at that point in time, a recession. We've already been through 1 quarter of negative GDP growth. And obviously, we are now in July. So we will have to wait and see what the numbers come out are. And typically GDP numbers take about a month to come out. So you won't really know into August.
Right.
Whether or not we can actually call this a recession, but at the same point in time, we actually recorded a behind the scenes back in January, back when Cuz was still on this show.
Right.
Where I proposed the question, is this the start of the recession?
I mean, I think we all knew that
bad times were coming.
Yeah, that was headed in that direction.
And here we are now.
Right.
Still talking about it. We're just waiting for clarification from major economists, leaders and everything in the financial space, we will say.
I did hear some good news for the people of Uganda.
Go on.
They just found a mine that's holding $22 trillion worth of gold in Uganda.
Of gold.
And the here's the bad news for America. Good news for China, but they are the ones that are being. They're the ones that are going to be mining the Chinese.
Okay, so they're getting contracted out to mine it,
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same point in time, 22 trillion or billion?
Trillion. $22 trillion worth of gold was found.
I'm going to be honest. I do believe the current market cap of the entire gold industry is right around 20 trillion, so somewhere in that general range.
Right.
So that is doubling supply.
So the price.
Guess what's going to happen to
the price of gold is going to go down.
Way down.
Yes.
Obviously, if all that information is true and it works out how I see it in my mind, that could be problematic for anyone who is out there holding gold.
Yes.
So at that point in time, what do you do?
Silver, aluminum, copper.
I actually believe that if you could actually get your hands on lithium right now, that would be key.
Well, as far as I know, that there's only 2 places that lithium is mined. One's in China, and the other one is somewhere in South America.
I do believe that there are actually probably more spots.
Well, majorly.
I mean, let's be honest.
The biggest mines.
With, the energy shift in particular, North American hemisphere, lithium is going to be a high dollar asset here coming up.
Right.
So we'll move on from there. The only other thing that I would actually very much be interested to discuss with you is this. I heard a report that on average, banks and credit cards are running at a 20% APR right now on average. Obviously, due to economic woes and everything, we'll see, or we'll say, rather, apologies. But why? And I understand people are struggling, but why would you put money on a credit card if you have to pay, 20% APR?
Well,
now,
I'm in the same spot yours. I don't understand why people would. I mean, I don't spend any more money than I actually have, but I do understand that there might be times where people are struggling and they may not have a choice but to put something on.
And this is where I agree with the problem. But I mean, I don't necessarily want to call it. I want to call it a problem that is 20%. I mean, I understand where the people, normal everyday citizens in particular, are coming from.
Right.
However, the only way that you won't find yourself in debt, in my mind, now obviously this is my mind, is to just make sure you pay that bill off every month,
right,
and not incur any sort of interest, right, on that particular purchases that you have made over the course of that.
There's two types of people, maybe three, that don't pay it on time. People that can't afford to pay it. People that are just they just don't care. They have no plans whatsoever to pay it back. And then there's people that are planning on filing for bankruptcy regardless, and just
don't the second and third kind of get merged, and if they're not planning on paying back, it back.
I'm talking about like maybe like some
young
young college student that was like, oh, I got this credit card. It's just free money. I'm just gonna spend a whole bunch of money because I can now. And then there's people that just have it already in plans, in the making, that they're gonna spend all the money that they possibly can, file for bankruptcy, keep the assets that they have acquired. As much as they can.
I was going to say, I mean, for a vast majority, they will not be able to keep any assets to the card.
Well, let's be honest. There's people out there that have filed for bankruptcy that live in mansions right now. So
it's true.
They don't take everything away.
Via offshore holdings.
Right.
There you go. You heard it first.
So,
but I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I agree to an extent.
So I can see why banks would have a high interest rate. It's not beneficial to the little people, like you and me and the other people that can't pay it back. But I think the reason it's so high is because there's a certain percentage that aren't going to pay it back, and they have to make money off of it somehow.
I mean, to an extent, it may play a small factor in it, but the fact is, when the Fed raises the interest rates, guess what? Your mortgage rates go up.
Right.
Your APRs on credit cards go up. Any type of loan you're taking out, the interest rate goes up. Anything involved with interest, your rate goes up.
That's why it's important to get a fixed APR when you're buying a house.
Yeah. I obviously haven't done any research on this, but I would almost assume right now you're probably not going to get one.
If you are in the military, you can get one anytime.
Sure. I mean,
veteran
loans.
Yes, veteran loans.
Yeah, I'm talking about normal people.
Yeah, I don't know anything about normal people loans. I'm not a normal people, obviously.
There you go. You heard it here first. Special fucking fucker over here.
Special fucking fucker.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. We will go ahead and end Bettinghead Financial right there. Talked about a bunch of stuff. Obviously, realistically, Unfortunately, this upcoming month, especially toward the end of the month, we may get some very depressing news. But we will have to see how all that plays out. Maybe it'll be positive. Fingers crossed.
Maybe all the videos from now on are going to be a minute long, just yelling about how much things suck.
Be about what?
A minute long talking about how much things suck.
If this is any type of particular content that you would enjoy watching, let us know down in the comments below.
It'll just be guy staring very closely at the camera yelling fuck, and then that'll be the end of it. It'll be 30 seconds long.
Yes. That actually might make its own video, but anyway.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Corpse Guard guy.
My name's Casey.
And thank you for watching Bayham Financial. As always, try and remember to keep your heads up.